right, it's my favorite day of the week. Hi there, and welcome to CBD and Essential Oil Talk Radio with Marc and Nikki. If you're looking for real information about how CBD and essential oils can have a positive impact on your life, you're in the right place. Coming up on the show today, Nikki's got a personal story of using peppermint to help her with nicotine addiction. It's been a few years. What's in your CBD? We're going to look at some test results from several CBD products. It really kind of highlights how big the problem of labeling is in the industry. Really need some more insight or oversight from the FDA, probably, or the SEC. I think they do labeling, but anyway, more oversight is definitely needed. We'll talk about the Raindrop Technique. We'll spend a little bit of time on that because I know our show is going to move pretty quick. And we are diffusing sage, frankincense, and black spruce in the studio today.
And
so,
it smells
Nikki.
so nice, so nice. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to this amazing show. I love being part of the show, by the way, in case y'all were wondering. So I had a friend of mine call me up the other day. He's like, hey, I had a tooth extracted. I can't use tobacco.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like I need something. I'm like, well, just drink beer. No. He says he was taking Copenhagen and Skoal, right? And it's been 20 days. He's like, I'm quitting. This is it. I'm done. But he's starting to feel those effects, right? And he doesn't want to trade another habit for another habit, for an old habit to a new habit. So he's like, do you have anything that might help me? And I said, well, you just triggered, one of my personal stories. I was a smoker for 17 years. And 4 years ago on Christmas Eve, I said, you know what? I'm done. I'm laying them down. I'm never going to smoke again. So what did my husband do? Vaping. He's like, here. He didn't do vaping, but he's like, I brought you this instead. And my thought was, that's just another habit for another habit. I don't want that. I don't want my kids to be around that. I don't want Michaela seeing that.
Well, he's trying to protect himself against some of the withdrawals.
He's like, oh, shit, you're going to need some chocolate and more chocolate and chocolate.
Right,
and
right.
Chocolate. So anyway, long story short, he bought me a vaping. I said, no nicotine, and it had peppermint in it. So I did that for about 5 days, maybe a whole week. And then I'm like, I have peppermint oil. I'll just use that instead. So I'd put that on my tongue and stick it to the roof of my mouth. And of course, if you've ever done that, it just opens you up. You're like, whoa, what just happened? So you're awake and you're not focusing on the negative. It really gives
Takes
you
your mind off everything.
It does, everything. You can't see. No, I'm kidding. So it really took my mind off of that craving, I'm going to say. I didn't want to reach for a cigarette. I was just like, oh, let me smell peppermint. Let me put it on my tongue. And I told him about it. And he's like, well, I'm willing to try that. So I made him an inhaler, right? Because I don't know, something about a bottle of essential oil with this guy. He's 6'4", 300 pounds. He's going to hate me for saying that. But I don't know, a little thing of, you know what I'm talking about, right? Just, let me get out my essential oils. That's not really a guy thing.
Right. But describe the inhaler you're talking about. Is that like one of those, really?
No, it's this little nasal inhaler. Just a little round tube. It has a wick in it.
Okay.
So I added peppermint, and then I had also heard something about black pepper.
Okay.
That could actually help when you're going through whatever you're going through if you're trying to quit nicotine, trying to get off of that.
Sure.
So I did black pepper and I did peppermint for him.
Okay.
Just little something he puts in his pocket, take it out. It's very discreet. And not everybody around him is smelling an oil and all this.
Where's he spraying? In his mouth or in his nose?
You don't spray it. You literally.
Oh, you breathe it in through your nose.
Take the cap off. It has a hole in it, and you kind of snort it up your nose.
Okay.
If that's a word I'm using, but it is. And I called him. I'm like, how'd it go? How's it going? He's like, Nikki, this stuff. He's like, man, my eyes started watering. My nose started draining.
Yeah.
He says, but you know what? I'm not wanting my Copenhagen or my Skoal, whatever it is that he was dipping. It was snuff.
How long has that been now?
Today's day 2 for him.
Okay.
But he's been off 20 days. And then he started, like, okay, I need something.
Yeah, I need something.
He said I was taking Tylenol like every 2 hours.
All right, we'll stay on top of that.
Withdrawal. So yeah, I was happy that I could help. I didn't give him this little pink inhaler. Here you go, put that in your pocket.
So you were a smoker.
I was a smoker.
How many years did you smoke?
17 years.
Wow.
17 years. And I was a light smoker, probably 2 packs a day. No, I'm kidding. Just kidding.
What's heavy?
2 cigarettes at night before I'd go to bed. That was just a calming thing. I would go outside, have my quiet time, leave me alone. That's what I would do.
So, but that was it. You didn't do anything in the morning and in the afternoon, none of that. No. It was just.
Sometimes at work, if it got stressful, I worked at a bank. If it got stressful, I'm like, okay, let me go out and have a cigarette. But it wasn't. Some people let their addiction run their life.
Sure.
Like, man, I can't go to the movies because it's 2 hours without having a cigarette. I can't do it.
Oh, wow.
I know people that would live their life like that.
What do they do for flying on a plane?
They don't. They drive.
Wow.
Yep.
Just so they can smoke. Well, that might explain a few things.
Addiction, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I was never highly addicted, but I was addicted.
So, CBD is being studied for addiction quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So
I get it. And I actually have a story with me and CBD and addiction.
you want to share it? I mean, we're
Well,
kind of in that realm.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So
Sure.
I'm addicted to sugar. It's no joke.
Oh,
Chocolate I'm addicted to chocolate. I love it, right?
What kind of chocolate are we talking about?
Milk chocolate.
Really? I mean,
Well-
but what's your product of choice, or what do you eat?
Everything.
Really doesn't matter?
Chocolate.
You don't
yeah.
discriminate?
So if I'm like, give me a chocolate bar, it'd be like the little Dove chocolates
Uh-huh.
or the Hershey Kisses. Just something
Okay.
small like that. Hey, let me have
So
some
how
chocolate.
many Hershey's Kisses have you eaten in a sitting? Like a whole bag?
I don't know.
Or
Oh, no.
'Cause I've
10
eaten.
10 or 12 probably.
I'll tell you what, no. That's nothing. That's like, you're a lightweight, 10 or 12.
Well, every hour on the hour is a little different. But it's daily. Like I have to have my chocolate fix every single day.
Gotcha.
But since I started taking CBD,
Yeah.
Chris will say, do we have any chocolate? Did you eat it all? And I'm like, no, I didn't eat it all. Sleeping on the couch. What? And I'd say, you know what? I'm not buying it anymore. He's like, well, why? I'm like, I don't know. I just gave it up, I guess. I don't crave it like I used to. Because I would crave it, especially PMS. It's like, boy, you better bring some chocolates.
So, but do you find to yourself that you can eat chocolate and then not slip into an addiction? Like enjoy
Correct. Yes.
chocolate.
I can have 1 piece, 2 pieces. Be like, oh, that was really good, but I'm done. I don't really need any more.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome.
CBD is amazing. It's one of those things that people, they don't really understand. There's so many different areas of your life it can touch. It's like you should be trying CBD 10 to 20 milligrams a day, every day. Just do it for 2 or 3 months and just see how your life is different
Yes.
at the end of the time. And really, if you do about 15 to 17 milligrams a day, then a 500 milligram bottle will last you an entire month, right? You're going to spend about $80 on that. Give it a shot and see what it can do for you, because it might change your life in ways you don't even really understand. Like sleep, I'm sleeping so much better. And then cravings for stuff where,
Yep.
I mean, seriously, I could sit down and to me, 10 or 12, I think maybe you're not being completely honest about that.
Actually, I think it's more like 5 or 6. Seriously.
Really? Because I could literally, and my wife would vouch for this, where I could eat a half, we're talking 20, 30, 40
And then
of those bad boys.
you're out. You pass
And
out.
I'm wired.
Sugar high.
I like
It doesn't
that.
take me much to get sugar high.
I tend to go all in when I
But I love that was a side effect.
Yeah, side benefit, yeah.
Side benefit.
There we go.
Less sugar. I'll take it. So think about those people who say, man, I really, I need to go on a diet for health reasons, and I really need to cut out the carbs and the sugar. I can't do that. I can't cut out sugar. We'll put some CBD in your body and see how easy it's probably going to be to, cut out that sugar.
Definitely going to help, yeah.
Definitely be a huge benefit there.
All right, so a quick word from our sponsor for this show. The San Antonio Empowerment Council has a couple of events coming up. On Thursday, October 24th at 7 o'clock, we have a CBD business startup meeting here in San Antonio. So if you're in the area and you're interested to learn more about CBD as far as a business goes, do it as a side hustle, then you should definitely come out to that meeting. It's just $5, very affordable, and there's going to be probably about 40 people that are going to be there. We'll have a good talk. You gain some CBD industry insight, important things to consider when choosing a CBD company to partner with, and some important business tips. And then on Saturday, November 2nd, we have a huge CBD and essential oil rally going on here in San Antonio. The keynote speaker is going to be Sherry Ross, who is a Young Living Royal Crown Diamond, over 20 years experience in essential oil use. Some amazing wisdom is going to be passed on. She's going to be talking about the magic, mystery, and miracle of essential oils. Also, Young Living's Senior Manager of Health Sciences and Product Safety, Clell Fowles, is going to be coming. He's the guy who helped integrate CBD and Young Living's essential oils together to make amazing products. For all the details on these and other events, visit saecevents.com. Again, those events are coming up really soon, so get out there and get your tickets. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about what's in your CBD. So labeling. Labeling is a big issue in the industry right now because it's really the wild, wild west. There's not really federal oversight on it, so people are, they're making wild claims about what's in their products, and maybe it's, they're saying there's 1,000 milligrams and there's really not.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of that going on. So CBD is an amazing compound, of course. It's found in the cannabis plant that provides some amazing benefits such as pain relief, reducing inflammation, and helping folks cope with stress and anxiety. These are some major issues that Americans are dealing with. The CBD industry is growing at a phenomenal pace and is forecasted to be at least a $22 billion industry by 2024. The CAGR, which is the compound annual growth rate, is over 26%, which is amazing. For the essential oil industry, is right around 6%, a little over 6%. So it's like 4 times that growth. CBD is huge, and I think that's probably not going to be. It's going to be like under, guessed, but without federal oversight, there's really no way of knowing what's inside the CBD products that you are buying. They don't have to adhere to any standards, to any national standards, right? So CBS News recently did an article where they partnered with a company called Mile High Labs in Colorado to test 9 different CBD oil samples. And found some huge discrepancies between what the label claimed and what was actually in the bottle, right? Which can be concerning when you're talking about something that was technically labeled as a drug. CBD is actually, cannabidiol is a drug, right? That's why we're having problems with people putting CBD into food and drinks, like coffee and stuff like that. It's all federally, it's illegal to do that in an interstate type of a setup. The FDA has not approved that. So this is what's going to get some companies into trouble. So here's what they found. So 4 samples were pretty much right on, 4 out of the 9. Okay, so just under 50%. 2 samples, they were cheating you, as they said. Only 60 to 80% of the advertised dosage was in there, right? And that's what you're paying for. You're paying for, if you're paying for 1,000 milligrams, you don't want 600 in there.
Correct.
Right, you want 1,000 in there. Then there were 2 that had actually more CBD, 10% more CBD than was on the bottle, right? So inaccuracies, which that doesn't really necessarily seem overly problematic to me, except for if you can't have consistency in your product, right? What is your next batch going to have, or the batch after that? So
and how it affects your body. Obviously,
exactly.
You're going to find what's your sweet spot per se.
Exactly right when it comes to dosage.
This isn't working all of a sudden. What's going on?
Yeah. So and then one product had 210% more CBD than stated on the label.
Wow.
Yeah. So if it's like a 500 milligram, now you got over like 1,100 milligrams or whatever the 210% would be. So yeah,
they don't know what they're doing.
Huge.
Sounds like they don't know what they're doing.
Right.
They're just assuming that's what it is. Throw it in there.
Well, their process.
Right. So it's a woman who's been cooking for years. That looks right. That's how I do. People are like, what's the recipe? I don't know. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. That's the recipe. Yeah.
So there's some examples of the CBD industry. It's really what they call the Wild West. The FDA is going. There's so many articles out there right now where the people are calling for the FDA to come in and really regulate that industry. I don't know if that's the best thing. I think consumers can do a lot of that, since CBD really, I know it's been labeled a drug, but it's really not. You can't overdose on it. So, I think some discretion would be good in there, but that's what's being called for. We'll see what happens. I hope the pharmaceutical, industry doesn't get their fingers too far into that pie, because we know they've got a history of doing that. So the issue of THC is especially problematic for folks who are subjected to drug testing. Right. If we're talking about labeling and proper labeling, people will say there's no THC, but then find out later that that's not necessarily the case. There was a case that I followed not too long ago where a guy was arrested and then ended up losing his job and all this kind of stuff around the THC argument. Well,
think about these moms or dads out there who are in the process of, trying to get their children from a divorce or something like that, and then all of a sudden, I haven't smoked, I haven't done anything, I'm not taking anything with THC, just the CBD that I got, from Walgreens or whatever it may be.
Right.
I don't know if Walgreens even sells that, and they're like, no, you're loaded in THC.
Because it does accumulate in the body. Accumulate in the body, yeah.
Yeah, so
you got to watch that.
It's important. It's very important. Now, my daughter, she was like, I got you something, it's coming in the mail. She was all excited for me. She got me a watermelon, there's like watermelon, mango, orange, and lime. Like a carbonated soda. With CBD in it.
Really?
Yeah. So I have a case of that at home. It's this little for 6-pack.
Are you going to bring it for a taste test or something? That'd be cool.
Well, I don't want to.
Oh, yeah, because we don't know what's in it. Yeah.
Right? Because.
Can't trust it.
Yeah. So I want to take my drug test first. And then I want to drink one of those and then say, let me take another drug test in a couple of days. Let's see. Maybe. Huh. But she was so proud. And I was like, well, thanks, honey. I'm drinking that stuff.
So you're going to go here locally and get yourself tested? All right, cool. Well, make sure you do a live video.
I want to do that this week, actually.
Sweet. All right. So, anyway, those THC experience, really, if you're subjected to drug testing, for us parents, right, we don't want to give that stuff to our kiddos and start acting weird or whatever, THC can do that. And of course, the elderly who may be sensitive, all these folks are sensitive to THC. So my experience, of course, I use Young Living's products, but because I've been to so many of their farms, I've seen their process, I've talked to their, their executive folks, their farm managers. I've interviewed, I think, I don't know, at least half a dozen other farm managers where I've actually talked to them, asked them questions about what's going on. So, and then of course, what's really important is their transparency. So when it comes to CBD, if you go to naturesultra.com, you can go to they've got a page there that has all of their batches testing on it for all of their individual products. This is the batch, because you get a batch number on your deal, so you can compare. Well, how did it test out? It's very, very transparent. So super important that you can trust them. So if you want more information on that or anything about CBD, if you want to connect with Nikki or I, it's super simple to do. You can visit our website, eotalkradio.com. Connect with us there. You can email us directly at Marc, M-A-R-C, at eotalkradio.com, or Nikki at eotalkradio.com. We'd love to help folks. That's what I do. I educate so much on CBD and essential oils. I'm going to be flying out to California. If you're going to be in the Riverside area of California on I think it's October 19th. It's funny, I don't remember the date, but
17th or the 19th. I don't know either.
I think it's the 19th, but at any rate, it's going to be a Saturday there. I'm going to be teaching a class on CBD, and I'm going to be doing one on the business of CBD down there as well.
Awesome. And you made the comment, trust right now. You talked about
Sure.
you got to trust. So my husband and I, we have conversations. Believe it or not, we talk.
Yeah, that's good.
That's wonderful.
Communication is always good in a marriage.
It's pretty good, right? Yeah. So I made a comment. I said, you know what? Marc said that all these people that are labeling food and gummies and all this, that it's the FDA rule. I just believe what Marc said, because you're a trusted advisor to me.
Yeah.
And a lot of people. And then I said, well, wait a minute. There's over, I don't know, hundreds company out there that
Sure.
are labeling incorrectly. I said, maybe Marc's wrong.
Maybe.
And I looked that up about 10 days ago. I was like, nope, he's right.
Well, did you go to
I started
FDA's website?
questioning. I'm like, wait a minute, Marc, really? So
No, that's fair.
You do great work. And we're just people, but these company owners, how do they not know this? I mean, we just heard from a guy last week, right? That's like, yeah, he's going to open up his own business and, infuse a product. And we're like, that's illegal. It is?
Right.
How do you're going to spend millions of dollars on something illegal? That sounds illegal.
Yeah, and there's vulnerability for the business there. I think as a, product user, most folks don't really care. If they want their CBD gummies or whatever, they're going to get that if they can find a good source and whatever. But when it comes to on the business side of it, you got to really watch that, because, you pour your heart and soul into this thing, get your customer base, and then the next day, boom.
Right.
The FDA locks their doors, and you're like, what happened?
Now I want to make CBD gummies. Maybe I'll make them at home.
Yeah, maybe CBD infused tortillas.
Yeah,
We did a deal
got
on that. All right, so let me talk just a little bit about what is a raindrop technique. Yeah, so we'll spend just a couple of minutes on that. So super popular in the essential oil community, where folks they're struggling with something, right? And they want to give a boost to themselves. They hear about the raindrop technique. They go to a massage therapist, or maybe they just get the kit themselves and then they use it and they have some amazing benefits from it. They're super excited about that. So it really talked about within the essential oil community. So I want to talk just a little bit about what it is, so that folks, if you hadn't heard about it, maybe you can go out there and dig a little bit and see what it's about. And you can check for maybe somebody who's CARE certified, C-A-R-E, CARE certified in your local area, that maybe can give you a good experience. Of course, that's going to vary depending on the massage therapist. But so the raindrop technique, what is it? It's a powerful and non-invasive tool for assisting the body. So it was developed in the 80s by D. Gary Young. He's also the founder of Young Living Essential Oils. He worked with a Lakota medicine man named Wallace Black Elk. That's the guy's name. So they worked together to develop this technique. The technique integrates the VitaFlex technique, which is a popular technique. You can Google that. That's VitaFlex. It integrates the VitaFlex with essential oils, right? And then, so what types of oils are we talking about? So like thyme, oregano, wintergreen, cypress. There's more, right? And they're layered in a very specific order, okay? So they're applied to the feet first, right? This whole VitaFlex technique and the layering is done on the feet and then on the spine. Now, some of the folks that do these techniques, they skip the feet and they just go right to the spine. But to do it properly, they need to do the feet and the spine, both, according to the technique that was developed by Gary and Wallace Black Elk. So the whole process takes about an hour or so. Anyone can get certified through an organization called CARE. That's the Center for Aromatherapy Research and Education. And really, people love it, and they love the benefits of it. And
Yeah, I've had a couple.
yeah, Raindrop Techniques.
Yes.
So what's been your experience with that?
First experience was I didn't know what to expect.
Sure.
And the therapist I was with, she's like, hey, is there anything you're working on, you're going through? And I told her what I was going through. She's like, okay, I think these would be appropriate oils to use. She tailored it to my needs.
Oh, okay.
And
so it was a custom raindrop. It wasn't just the basic raindrop.
Right, it was the basic. Well, it was the basic oils, but then she added in 2 other oils.
Okay, gotcha.
To help with
what were the oils? Do you remember?
Release and Trauma Life.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And I hadn't used those oils before.
Sure.
Nor had I had a raindrop, and it's on your spine. They're really applying the oils to your spine. And she did the feet too. She did the feet. Yeah, because when you were talking about it, I was like, did she touch my feet? Oh yeah, she touched my feet. That's a traumatic experience in itself for me.
You're so funny.
And I got up off the table again. I was a little dizzy, and I put my clothes back on. I had my shirt off, right?
Sure.
Because
so they can get
getting a massage, you know how it is when you get a massage. And I remember putting my shirt back on, and I just started crying. I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Like crying. I had a massage just a couple of weeks ago with intention, like for my ear that was clogged,
right.
For my low back that was hurting me. But this was different. This was a different cry. This was crying on the way home. I had to stop, pull over because I was crying. Cried in the shower. I mean, I cried for 4 days. Like it was really helping me to release all that, emotion I had pinned up inside.
Wow. Did you use any Valor to kind of, because you put that on your feet, it can help at least from.
I didn't. Not after the fact. I did not. But then I was like, okay. 6 months went by, maybe 4 months went by. I said, yeah, I'm ready for another one, but I don't want to use those oils.
Yeah, let's steer clear all that.
Let's make this a pleasant experience. But just releasing, emotion helped me thrive in my personal life and my business life. So that was nice. And then the second time, I was just in a great mood. My life was going wonderful. I had been able to get rid of what I was needing to get rid of. And I think she added joy. Is that something that's in a raindrop?
No.
Nope. So she added that. And I didn't cry at all.
Okay.
Before, during, or after. None of it.
So did you tell her to stay away from the release?
Just don't give me that. It was just a great experience. And I enjoyed it. And I was like, wow, I feel so good and have all this energy. And it was awesome.
You have to dig, though. You got to dig deep into those emotionally locked away things and let them go.
It's hard for people. It's hard for me.
Yeah.
I'll just be like, oh, back burner, done with it. And it's sitting back there.
Yeah,
for years.
but it festers.
Yeah.
So we gotta dig in and get that stuff. Gotta get it.
So if there's something you're working on in your personal life that you just can't get past, maybe a raindrop's for you.
Absolutely.
And we know people, so give us send us an email, right?
Yeah.
You can do that.
Absolutely.
We'd be glad to help out.
Yep. I'm sure we can connect you with somebody.
Yep.
All right, as we wrap up the show, quick reminder to check out our latest podcast on all the usual podcast platforms. And be sure you're following us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, where we post videos of our show. And there are links to everything you need in the details below. So that's it. Have a great week, and we'll see you on the next show.
Bye, guys.